Eric, I appreciate you joining us at this moment. What do you think will happen now? Do you think that Israel, while has maintained and taken a vow that it will completely finish off Hezbollah, could that take a step back? Because with these ballistic missiles, Iran is also saying, if you continue with that, we will throw more missiles your way.
It looks like there's a very good chance that Israel will respond. The messages coming from the government are that red lines are crossed based upon the attack, the scope of the attack by Iran, and it's clearly something that's an escalation on their side. And so I foresee that there will be a strong Israeli response to the attacks that took place yesterday. They were certainly unprecedented, and there's good sense that there will be a reply by Israel.
Eric, how do you see this now with Iran getting directly involved officially? Because I understand there's been back and forth earlier as well, but this, with the kind of skies that we saw lit up with ballistic missiles, how do you think this involvement will be seen? Because the world is watching right now.
It's a very good question, and honestly, I'm not sure many people have an answer. Clearly for decades, Iran has been using forces such as Hezbollah and the terrorist organization Hamas as their proxies, being able to try and gain leverage over Israel in regard to what they were doing. Based upon the military actions over the past few months and certainly over the past week or so, we've seen that those proxies have definitely been diminished in terms of their capabilities to the point that they really are no longer effective. And this leaves Iran completely exposed. And one of the things that we saw yesterday was that Iran actually, which is usually a regime that is very leery of actually putting their own skin into the game, so to speak, they actually attacked Israel for the second time. So clearly there's a new Middle East that we're looking at today, and we're not sure exactly in what direction this will go.
Eric, how do you look at the message by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu when he addressed to the people of Iran, not as much to the regime or not even to Israelis, but speaking to the people of Iran to join in? What do you make of that? What do you think was the intention here?
Well, that's really the most disappointing aspect of this entire conflict is that historically the Iranian people and the Israelis have had strong relationships. Up throughout the time that the Shah was in power, Israel had a embassy in Iran, and there was a lot of coordination between the two people. We understand that it's a terrible regime in Iran that's oppressing its people, and that there is a lot of an appetite to change that regime. And so our message to the Iranian people is that Israel does not have a problem with the Iranian people. We have a problem with the regime. And I think it would be in the best interest of the Iranians, the Middle East, and the entire world that regime is thrown out.
I do have one final question, Eric. I understand that while you may have been with the forces, eventually to be an Israel citizen right now, what was the mood like? What was the sentiment on the ground? What happened when these ballistic missiles from the skies and two gunmen in the suburbs of Tel Aviv? So tell us about what happened really at that point.
It was really sort of a surreal experience yesterday. I was actually coming home from work. All of a sudden there were notifications from our home front command that we needed to be home and close to our shelters. As one of the building codes in Israel is that most homes actually have bomb shelters in them. It's usually a room, a closet, or a child's bedroom. And so we had to be close to those shelters last night. And then you start to watch the news. We had that terrible gun attack that took place in south of Tel Aviv. And then all of a sudden you have the rocket attacks taking place. And, from my child's bedroom, which is our shelter, we could hear the explosions taking place. We heard the sirens going off. And right now I'm standing in front of a small market in my town, which is about 10 minutes south of Tel Aviv. It's the night before Rosh Hashanah, or the day before Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish New Year. Usually you would find this is a place that is full of people doing the last-minute shopping before the big holiday, and it's empty. There's still a sense on the streets that you don't see a lot of people, and there is some concern about what's going to be happening in the coming days.
All right, Eric, thank you for speaking to India Today.